Welcome to the third online module. This one focuses on emergency procedures in our school. It's critical that all staff members are clear about their responsibilities during an emergency, so if you have any questions about your role, please speak with an administrator right away. These are the people in charge when there is an emergency in school. Here are your members of the building safety team. These individuals may relate pertinent information during an emergency and will work together to coordinate our response should an incident arise. So emergencies. There are two general response types. The first is the leave the building type of response, and the second is one in which we would stay in the building safely. Leave the building emergencies include things like fire drills, a fire, gas leaks, bomb threats, and chemical spills. So in a leave the building type of event, what will happen? Well, first the fire alarm will ring. Teachers will need to grab their class rosters, so it's always handy to have your class roster somewhere nearby that you can grab and take on the go. Teachers will escort students to their identified gathering area outside of school, leaving their doors closed and unlocked. Once outside, teachers will take attendance. And then teachers report any missing students to the administrator assigned to each gathering area. So where are the gathering points if everyone needs to leave the building? For all drills requiring evacuation, teachers will lead students to the nearest exit on either side of the building. If exiting the front, teachers gather students on the far side of the parking lot along the sidewalk. If exiting the rear, teachers gather students on the far side of the circle along the sidewalk. Your emergency exit signs hung near the door of your classroom will direct you to the nearest exit. Please review them during in-service. Please also keep classes clumped together and separate from other classes to make attendance easier. In the case of an actual emergency, the safety team may direct students and teachers to a further distance of 300 feet. These further gathering points include Main Street from the student parking lot side of the building, Champlain Chevrolet from the back of the building, the far side of the softball field next to the elementary school from the cafeteria side of the building, and Spears Funeral Home parking lot from the main entrance side of the building. Other things to consider about leaving the building include students in the cafeteria should exit out of the cafeteria glass doors and move into the parking lot in the front building. If the fire alarm goes off, the fire department is automatically contacted. Once the students are safe and outside, I or Jim Starr will call central office and request an alert now and news posting as necessary. Doug LaCrosse will direct the fire trucks to the site of the fire. If weather conditions require students to be indoors, the students in the back of the building, including the middle school, will go to Cold Hollow. Rachel Reynolds or Jim Starr will contact Cold Hollow to let them know. Students in the front of the building will go to the elementary school. I or Larissa Urban will contact the elementary school to let them know. While not common, bomb threats do occasionally happen. If a note is found by a staff member, ideally the staff member will leave the note where it is and find an administrator. The reason for this is to help with the investigation process. It's often the case that a note or a call will be brought to the school's attention from outside the building. In that case, the safety committee will meet immediately to make a decision with the school resource officer about whether or not to evacuate the school. If the decision is to evacuate the building, the PA will be used to ask students to leave the building following fire drill procedures. Students leaving out of the front of the building will be directed by me and other team members to move down to the soccer field for a further distance. If weather conditions require students to be indoors, they will go to the elementary school. Larissa Urban or I will contact the elementary school to let them know we're coming. Students leaving out the back of the building will be directed by Rachel Reynolds or Jim Starr and other team members to move to the far side of the park. If weather conditions require students to be indoors, the students in the back of the building, including the middle school, will go to Cold Hollow. Rachel Reynolds and or Jim Starr will contact Cold Hollow to let them know we're coming. So there are emergencies that require us to stay in the building. Of these, there are two types. Ones where students and teachers' lives are not in danger. Typically, that would be a clear the halls type of event. And ones where students and teachers' lives are in danger, which is when we go into lockdown. So what do we do when we have an event where we need to stay indoors and students and teachers' lives are not in danger? We will announce on the PA, clear the halls. When we say clear the halls, students and teachers should go to the nearest classroom. Teachers will open their doors and tell any student outside their door or in the hall to get in their room right away. From there, the safety team will give teachers information to tell them when it's safe to return to normal. Usually this is done on the PA with an announcement. So what happens when students and teachers' lives are in danger? The big announcement on the PA is lockdown. In a lockdown situation, all students and teachers should go to the nearest classroom immediately. Teachers will open their doors quickly and tell any students right outside to get inside. Teachers will then lock their doors, cover the window in their door, and then teachers will direct students to a blind spot in their rooms or a safe area. Some other considerations for lockdown include that students in the cafeteria should move into the auditorium if a threat comes from outside of the building. Students in the cafeteria should move to the nearest exit if a threat comes from within the cafeteria itself. And in the cafeteria, there's always an administrator. So administrators will be able to help direct students and teachers who are in the cafeteria space at that time. All students and staff need to remain in their designated lockdown areas until the police come to the door. An emergency bucket of supplies will be provided in each instructional room for extended lockdown scenarios. If you don't have a bucket of supplies, please let me or Doug LaCrosse know. If the PE classes and or the middle school students are outside during a lockdown, they should go to the shed near the soccer field. The relevant adults, teachers and such, should have a radio and key to the shed anytime they're outside with students. If a class is out on the ropes course, they should go to the outdoor bathrooms around the side of the building. If a class is on the softball field, they should also use those outdoor bathrooms. If a class is out on the soccer or baseball fields, they should go to the shed. This emergency and drills reference sheet is one that should be posted in each and every classroom. It identifies fire drill procedures, lockdown procedures, and clear the hall procedures. This is very helpful for teachers and particularly substitute teachers if we have a drill on a given day. Please make sure that this emergency and drills card is posted somewhere in your room, preferably near the door, so that people can refer to it quickly and easily. If you do not have one, please let me know right off and I'll get one made for you. So finally, your safety is our number one concern. We need to be sure that our school is a safe environment where kids feel safe so that they can do the learning that they need to do. If there are any questions or concerns about our practices or procedures, please feel free to let me know. Our emergency preparedness team will be meeting in the early part of the year to review our procedures and see if anything needs to change directly. Thank you for listening.